Oh, was that one?
It's already going.
Ready? Go.
What I have here are 3 very rare trading cards from characters from the Odyssey and Beowulf. The first one here is Odysseus, and it's an archery card. And on the back, it has a description and some key facts and statistics. And it says, one of the heroes of the Trojan War, Odysseus is cunning and resourceful. He uses quick wit along with incredible strength and battle experience to get out of tough situations like the incident with the Cyclops. And the incident with the Cyclops is Odysseus and his men get trapped in Polyphemus' cave, and Polyphemus asks who Odysseus is, and he says nobody, so he's using his cunning to fool Polyphemus with his name. And that shows later when Odysseus stabs his eye out, and Polyphemus is screaming and yelping and everything, and all of his neighbors and friends come by and ask him what's wrong, and he just says, nobody's hurt me, so they're like, oh, he's just complaining about something else again. And then Odysseus also shows his cunning when they escape, and he does that by taking 3 of Polyphemus' sheep and tying them together and then tying his men underneath it. And that's cunning because the blind Cyclops now can't tell because he just feels them, the top of them. And back to the card, it says, this ability to beat opponents with brains and brawn makes him a feared person in the Greek world. Odysseus has defeated many enemies, most recently the suitors staying in his own home. Along with his son Telemachus and 2 other servants, Odysseus kills every last suitor in the palace. Odysseus uses his expert archer skills with which only he can string his bow to exert his prowess as king of Ithaca. And he comes onto his own palace as a beggar in disguise, so that's another part of his resourcefulness and his cunning. And he just kind of sits there every day and observes the suitors and tries to see what their tendencies are and how they act. And then on the day that Penelope is going to decide who to marry, she has a challenge, and whoever can string Odysseus' bow and then shoot it through 12 axes will be her husband. And so none of the suitors can, and Odysseus asks to do it, and then instead of shooting the axes, he starts just killing all the suitors. And then Telemachus and the 2 other servants kind of spring into action too and help him kill them all. And then his features, an estimated height and weight of 6'3" and 243 pounds, because it never really gives it, but I assume that just gives him a strong build, and you kind of see that. His strengths are his physical strength, his strategic expertise, which he is oftentimes called the great tactician as an epithet, and his quick wits, which is shown a lot. And his weaknesses is excessive pride or hubris, and this is most importantly seen with the Cyclops as he's trying to escape. As he's escaping, Polyphemus screams out, like, I just want to know the name of the man who injured my eye. And Odysseus, in his excessive pride, just yells back, Odysseus. And then Polyphemus kind of prays to Poseidon, who's his father, for Odysseus to never reach his home. So it's a very tough journey home now for Odysseus. The next card is Telemachus. That's a very nice picture of him. And on the back, it's just a description and a picture. It says, Telemachus is the son of Odysseus, hero of the Trojan War. His clear-headedness allows him to make the right choices and always see the truth in what lies ahead. And his epithet most of the time is clear-headed Telemachus. So that kind of just emphasizes his clear-headedness. And while his father is away, Telemachus grows up into a man coming of age to be as great as Odysseus. And you see that a lot throughout the story, and it really doesn't happen until the very first chapter, actually. When Athena comes and talks with him, she kind of helps him throughout it, in coming of a man. Eventually he is old enough to assume the role of the man of the house, protecting his mother from the throngs of suitors wishing to marry her. The day his father does return, Telemachus helps him kill all the suitors, leaving them alive. And his growing up and his maturity really shows when the suitors kind of taunt him, and Odysseus, as a beggar, Telemachus kind of steps up and kind of confronts them and everything. And he also shows his role as the man of the house when Penelope's kind of freaking out a lot of the times. He'll kind of control her and tell her, kind of order her to do something, and it'll help her calm down. And then when Odysseus reveals his identity and they start attacking all the suitors, Telemachus, although really close to being a man, he does show some immaturity in leaving the storehouse open with all the suitors' weapons that they took. And so some of the suitors that are left get their weapons back. And the last trading card here is Beowulf, and it's a bodybuilding card because he is super strong. And on the back he has a picture and some statistics in his description. It says, a Geatish warrior in search of making his mark on the world, Beowulf creates a heroic persona through his passion for immortality. He arrives on Danish land to assist the Danes in protection from a monster that has been attacking the people for a very long time. This is Grendel. And Beowulf first comes onto the Danish land because he hears about what Grendel has done to them and how he's just been harassing them for years. And so he wishes to help them and also help himself in becoming immortal. And since Grendel does not use weapons, he tells everyone and tells himself that he's not going to use weapons and it's going to be a fair fight. And so Grendel comes in, lurks in the night, and comes into Herat Hall, and just kind of starts attacking. First, he kills one of Beowulf's men, and then he comes up on Beowulf, and Beowulf acts like he's sleeping. But at the last second, Beowulf just grabs his arm, and it's like a steel grip, so Grendel can't pull away. And eventually, Beowulf just uses his strength to just rip off Grendel's arm, and Grendel runs away and like dies alone or something like that. And to continue, it says, Beowulf kills him and then kills his mother when she attacks in blind fury, searching for revenge. And Grendel's mother, after finding out that Grendel's killed, comes back, and she kind of does a hit and run where she attacks him and runs way back to her lair. And then Beowulf chases her down into her lair and attacks her, but his sword breaks. So he finds a sword in her lair that just happens to be laying there, and decapitates her. And then later in life, as the Geatish king, he kills a dragon that is harassing the Geats, his own people. He is killed in the process, his name forever mummified. And this dragon is attacking his people, so he goes in and tries to kill it. And he can't do it alone, so he needs one of his men comes and helps him. And they both are able to kill the dragon. And then Beowulf is killed in the process, and he's given a hero's burial and a big pyre that they burn his body on and send him out to sea. And his stats: battles won 3, battles fought in 3, so that's a 100% ratio right there. That's perfect. And kills 3, which might seem unimportant, but it was mano-a-mano battles, so that's good to have.
Okay. So we have, and we didn't really do this yesterday, but we have about 2 minutes for discussion. So if you want to ask questions, or do people want to make comments?
That's a cool idea. I feel like they could.
Yeah, I like that.
Maybe more plot-based. Did Michael do a good job representing the 3 characters?
Yeah.
I think I like the stats.
Yeah,
That
that was clever.
was clever.
Tell me something more about Beowulf.
He's the protagonist of the story.
Good one.